Brian Lilley of the Toronto Sun is always good for comments because he's right here, because I have to put to you, our Prime Minister went to New York recently, spoke to an empty hall at the UN, 2 or 3 people there like this, probably from the PMO. Then he went on to Colbert's show, and RuPaul right afterwards, because he likes American media, because they don't know that a lot of stuff he says is complete baloney. And then the UN is coming out with a world pact for world governance, and he said Canada is foursquare behind it. Comment.
Okay, a lot to unpack there. One, you're right, there were more people in the studio audience for Colbert, which was...
Than the UN, yeah.
Than at the UN. It was a horrible interview. It was slavish. It was, horribly disgusting in terms of how over the top Colbert was in praising the Prime Minister. Had no follow-up question. But look,
and it said Poilievre is Canada's Trump.
Yes, which is ridiculous.
It is.
Come on. So... But the idea that we are going to be fully behind the idea of a global governance agreement. I'm sorry, do I elect people to the United Nations? This is my big thing with, why I'm against the idea of proportional representation. Well, who's my elected representative? People say, well, we should just elect and you should get seats based on your percentage of the popular vote across the country. No, who is my elected representative?
I want a name and a face.
And we don't have that if we go with the idea of a UN global pact where they're passing laws. It's just like a UN global tax. Well, who do I talk to if I want the tax increased or decreased?
And who voted for Trudeau knowing that he was going to do this? He didn't know this, but the point is, so there's a global governance by the UN. Do you think the bad countries, the bad guys, are going to pay attention to it?
Here is the major problem with how Canadians view the UN. We view it through rose-colored glasses, to quote Blue Rodeo. We view it as something that is well and good, and it's always the best of intentions. No, look at who is in charge. Who's on the Security Council? You can say, well, Russia for one, China for another. Those are bad guys. But you've also got groups like Iran, North Korea, who are often end up on the Human Rights Council, or a couple of years ago, North Korea was heading the Nuclear Disarmament Committee. What?
To get all the secrets. So if we had some global pact, Canada and the responsible nations may pay attention to it. The bad guys aren't going to pay attention to it.
No, not at all. And that is the problem. We need, if it was the League of Democracies, maybe I'd say, yeah, okay, this is a good idea. This is a league of dictators and despots.
Brian Lilley always says, thank you very much, 3 minutes. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act, once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.